Yo, 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 hello, and welcome to the 1218 Show. My name is Mike Wilson. I am your host. I appreciate you tuning in and listening for another episode of the 1218 Show. It's been a minute since I've been up. I think it's been 11 days since the last one. A little behind my schedule of one a week. Last week was crazy busy. As you can all guess, this is something I try to do in my spare time until it becomes something I can do full time. So, I apologize if you are one of the people out there that look forward to the next episode. I'm doing the best I can. That being said, in recent days, I don't know why, I've kind of been in a little bit of a funk. For those of you that don't know, I'm one of those people that just, I love music, always have, and I always want it on. Always. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and we were joking how when I was young, I used to couldn't stand it when I'd ride in somebody's car and they had on talk radio. I'm like, why would you listen to talk radio when you can flip the station and have music? Like, I want to sing, I want to bop my head, I just couldn't stand talk radio. And of course, it's funny that all these years later, I'm doing a podcast, which in many ways is talk radio. So, but the point, that's just a joke and an aside. I have been listening to a lot of songs in minor keys lately. For those of you that don't know, generally speaking, minor keys are a little more, are considered to be more of the sadder songs or depressing songs. It's not always the case, but most of the time, if it's an upbeat, happy song, it's in a major key, and the reverse is true if it's in a minor key. And there's there's several that are my favorite. Some of the greatest songs of all time are in minor keys, and I don't know why they kind of popped up in my. I've always got a random feed going on my iTunes when I'm working on my computer or running or anything, and some minor key songs have just popped in, and they grab me again, and I just listen to them. And as I've mentioned before, time as a topic is something that I think about a lot, and it interests me a great deal. And time has been on my mind a lot lately. It kind of all goes in together. It's funny how the world works. I had kind of been listening to these songs, and then in the last couple of weeks, I've lost two friends, both considered, unexpected deaths. Neither were close friends in my inner circle, but people I was definitely acquainted with and knew. Both of them under the age of 50, and so I get to thinking about time again, and I wanted, and then ironically, with all of this going on, I get a message from, as we all are, we're texting and communicating within our circles, and one of my good buddies that I talk to a lot about different things. He actually doesn't live here, so I hardly ever see him face to face, but we were texting the other day, and he'd asked me if I'd seen the Val Kilmer documentary on Amazon, and I had not, and it was in my queue. I just haven't clicked onto it yet. There's a lot I didn't know about Val Kilmer, so I highly recommend checking it out. If you have 90 minutes, go onto your Amazon Prime and check out the documentary. He is a very, very unique and interesting story and individual. And it just got me to thinking again. For those of you that don't know, and I didn't realize this, I think I'd seen a headline about it, but he lost his voice. He had throat cancer. He's on the other side of it, and it's apparently gone. But he now has to speak with one of those, whatever you call them, the thing that you got to put your thumb or your finger over the hole just to talk, and you kind of sound like a robot, which was hard to watch it at first. The first time he does it on the documentary, it's just called Val, by the way, on Amazon Prime. I was kind of like, whoa, oh my God, this is. I think the last thing that I notably remember seeing him in was the Entourage episode where he played the stoner guy, the weed dealer. I don't know that I really remember seeing him anything since. And movies, I don't think he's ever really done television, which is why it's weird that the stuff he did after that, because I'm a movie guy. I don't watch much TV, never really have. I'm much more into movies. I have TV shows that I enjoy. I've seen, several, and I have my favorites. Friends at the top of the list. And then on down the line, Californication was one of my all-time favorites. I did watch all of Entourage and Lost. The show Lost, not, I didn't lose anything. And I finally watched Breaking Bad. I've seen some television, but we're getting off topic here. I want to go back to Time because the Val Kilmer thing kind of reminded me, kind of lined up all my thoughts for the week, or the last 2 weeks, with all the kind of the weird stuff, with, the passing of my two friends, with things that are going on with this crazy shooter up in Buffalo, and all the other weird shootings, and back to Time. It kind of hit me hard the other day when I heard somebody they just said, "Oh my God, I can't. It's only Tuesday. I can't wait till Friday." And I hate it when I hear people say that. If I don't, because you're wishing away time. And if you do that, if it's Thursday and you're like, "Oh my gosh, tomorrow's Friday, I can't wait till it's here," or tomorrow's Saturday, and you're just waiting for the weekend, and you do that time after time again, you're wishing away your life. And before you know it, you're going to wake up and realize, wait a minute, I spent most of my life wishing away my life. Now, I understand if you don't like your job, or if your circumstances are tough and whatever, and you're wanting to just get through those moments, that sucks. But you can change that. And I say that very blasé, and I know it's tough. But if wishing away your time is what you're doing, then you need to make a change. Now, what that means for you is completely individual, but wishing away what you have, the only thing you actually have, is the time that you have. Now, understand, we have an indefinite, that's the wrong word, not indefinite. We have a definite timeline. You are born, when you're born, from the moment you're born to the moment you die is an exact amount of time. So just think about that for a second. It is an exact amount of time. Now, for some people, that time might be 20 minutes. Maybe a person perishes right after birth. It happens. It's unfortunate. Maybe you live to be 100. Maybe, what's the average these days? Late 70s? The point is, it is definite. What if you don't want, none of us really want to know the day we're going to die, or the minute we're going to die. But what if you understand that day is coming, then are you wishing away the day that you have? Because here's what I think is forgotten. That day is coming. I know this is a dark topic and a dark podcast, but I'm actually trying to enlighten it, because oftentimes, if I'm at work, my feet are hurting, or I just deal with a grouchy asshole customer or whatever, I'm like, ugh, and it's frustrating, like I can't wait to, and I almost immediately, in my own head, I stop right away. I'm like, don't waste away the night, or don't waste away the time, because it is what it is. That's what you have. That's what you have right then. That exact moment is the only moment that is exact, and will always be that moment. Now, the most understandable way for people to wish away time is when they're going through something traumatic or painful. If you've lost a loved one, or if you're going through a breakup or a divorce, those are the times that you want the time to pass, because it gets easier with time. Now, you don't know that when you're young. The older you get, the more you realize the old saying, time cures all that ails you, is true. In some cases, it never fully gets cured, whatever that pain is. But for most of us, and for most situations, I should say, when somebody passes, or when you've gone through a breakup or a divorce or something tragic, or even something personal, maybe I don't know, maybe an anvil dropped on your leg and you lost a toe, and just coming to terms with that takes time. And I understand when people wish away, like, oh, I just can't wait till I'm okay with this. But too often and too general, people are wishing away. Listen, right now, as I'm talking to you right now, is the youngest you're ever going to be. Think about that. You're never going to be younger than you are right now. And you're never going to be younger than you are right now. And every second that ticks along is a second to your final moment. So don't wish them away. Even if you're, I don't know, oh, I got to do housework and I got to scrub the toilet. That's the worst part of my house cleaning duties. You're like, I don't want to do it, whatever. Okay, that takes 3-4 minutes. But that's 3-4 minutes of doing crappy work that's yours. And sure, it must be done. You know, it's personal upkeep, it's hygiene, it's all those kinds of things. Everything from taking a shower to brushing your teeth. Accumulate all that time up, and at the end of your life, you're like, man, I spent, 17 weeks of my life brushing my teeth, or whatever it may be. But it's little increments over. But all those times don't have to be about what you're doing. I said, like I mentioned at the beginning, what if, just put on some music. So you're doing something crappy, put on some music and enjoy the song. The moment can be about that. It doesn't have to be about the task at hand, and you don't have to wish it away. What if you took cleaning the toilet and said, oh man, cleaning the toilet, I get to put in my headphones and listen to The Temptations for the next 10 minutes. What if you just flipped it and thought about it that way? All the times that, like I said, when I do a long shift or something like that, and your body's hurting, your feet are hurting, your back's hurting, or so you're wishing somebody would leave and they're just not drinking fast enough or eating fast enough or whatever the case may be, flip it around to enjoy that, because you're sharing a moment with somebody, or you're sharing a moment with your circumstances, and you can find a way to enjoy that. Find the good in it. Because those moments also create memories. Have you ever not wanted to do something, and then when you did it, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did that. Oftentimes that's going to the gym. If you don't want to go to the gym, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I'm going to drag my butt there, and then it's like the best workout you ever had. Like that's happened so many times. My best workouts ever have often been when I didn't want to go. Excuse me. Now the Val Kilmer thing I wanted to bring into this, and then I'm going to shut it down, because I know, again, this was kind of a dark one. But he's got this, he made a living acting, made his life out of acting. So obviously his voice is a major part of that entire career and life. So losing that got me thinking about all the mundane things that you do, talking being one of them. And what if time... Okay, what if we were talking about time? Okay, let's say my expiration date is when I'm, I don't know, let's just be silly and say 105 years old. And that's when I'm going to expire. That's when I'm dying. But what if I knew that in 2 weeks, an ambulance was going to run over my foot, and I would never have a foot again? Would I miss out on the opportunity to go for a run today? Or, I like to sing. If something like the Val Kilmer thing happened to me, it would crush me if I couldn't talk or speak or sing. So when you don't do these things, you're wasting opportunities. It's, every second is an opportunity. I've recently, I think I'm starting to get a little arthritis in my hands. My grandfather had arthritis. My father, it's in my family. They all work construction, whatever. And I've just had a little sensitivity, a little annoying pains in my knuckles recently. little swollen joints and stuff. Part of that is my diet. I drink too much diet soda. I know that. But I actually think that I'm starting to get a little arthritis. And I like to play the guitar and play the piano, neither of which I'm very good at, but I like to do it. And that's another thing that recently when I kind of realized, like, oh man, I think I might be getting a little of this arthritis. How much longer am I going to be able to do that? And if I don't take the time or enjoy the time that I have to do those things, there's going to be a day when I have the time, or when I say, oh man, I wish I could play the piano today, but my fingers don't move like they used to. Your physicality, I use running a lot. I saw a little kid running down a hill. There's a hill called Cedar Hill in Central Park. And it's really steep. Much like, if I'm from Illinois, most of you guys know Bloomington Normal, Illinois, there's a place there called Jersey Hill. It's about that same steepness. And these kids were kicking around a soccer ball on this hill, and it got away from them. And I saw this kid chase down this soccer ball, like down the hill, get on the other side of it, stop the ball, turn, kick it up. And I remember being so admirable, because I know that at my age now, my knees, I could never chase down a ball down a hill. I just couldn't chase it because I couldn't stop. I don't have, my knees are, I mean, I can still run and do things, but I don't have that, I don't know what you call it, I don't know if it's strength or the reflexibility or whatever, but if I'm running down a hill, the only thing I can do is slow down until I stop. I'm not going to be able to get past the ball, stop, turn, and make them. It's just not something I could do anymore. And I remember just watching him, and I just wanted to think, and I just wanted to just run up and tell him, say, hey, that's the coolest thing, that you can do that right now. And the fact that you can do it, you should enjoy every single second of it, because it doesn't last forever. And you start to lose some of those things as you get older. It's kind of my little nephew can grab the rim on a basketball hoop now. It's like full on grab the rim. That's all he's ever wanted to do, is be able to dunk a basketball. And we're not a tall family. I mean, he's not even going to hit 6 foot, I don't think. But he jumps constantly. I love that he does it. It's a pretty cool thing. So anyway, I'm happy that some of you are out there in the world taking advantage of time. But I feel like a lot of us, and I'm certainly one who have wasted a lot of it. You just need to be reminded that it's yours, so take advantage of it. Be happy with it. It's a pretty cool thing that you have. And if you wish it away, you're going to be sorry that you did someday. I would rather, when you're 60 years old and you look back at it when you're 25 or 30 or 35, and you hated whatever you were doing at the time, and you wished away that time, you'll want that time back at some point. So don't let it go. That's it for this week. Appreciate you listening. Those are my kind of heavy thoughts, but I love you guys. I appreciate you listening, and I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead. And that's about it. Okay, take care. Have a great one. Goodbye.